The application for the Global Career Scholarship is starting in few days' time. And if you are yet to fully understand the application process, prepare your documents, or even select a track, then do well to watch this video to the end. Annyeonghaseyo! Hello everyone! My name is Melody Oluwatobi and I am a Nigerian studying in Korea under the Global Career Scholarship, and you're welcome to my channel! Yes, we are doing this. So please note that this video is a part of a series, so you want to do well to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you can get notified when I upload the other videos. Since this is my first video in the GKS series, I am going to be providing a detailed explanation on the important points to note in the application guidelines. Yeah, I know that the application guideline can be quite confusing and complicated. So before going into the next stuff, I'm going to be explaining it. However, in this video, apart from the application guideline, I'll be explaining how you can get your documents in time for the application, because honestly you don't have a lot of time and you just need an effective means to get your application documents ready, kind of. So let's get started. If possible, I would advise that you have the application guidelines opened in front of you. I have my laptop here and I have the guidelines opened on it. I'll be looking at it to make reference. So if you have a device, or if you can just minimize your phone and open the application guidelines, it will be better for you to relate to it that way. And if you are yet to get the application guideline, okay, if you just get to know about GKS and you've not gone through the application guideline, no problem. But if you know about GKS and you're planning to apply next month and you are yet to go through the application guidelines, you're supposed to be flogged. Anyways, you have me, so I'm going to be explaining it to you guys. So let's start from the beginning. And like I said, I'll be explaining just the important points. So points that I think are self-explainable, I'm not going to be touching that much. Program objectives: basically, Global Career Scholarship, also known or formerly known as the Korean Government Scholarship Program, is a scholarship designed to provide international students with the opportunities to study in Korea at the undergraduate and the graduate level. For undergraduates, we have the associate degree and the bachelor's degree, and the application cycle for that is September every year, and it's September the year before you were supposed to go to Korea if you get the scholarship. And for the graduate degrees, we have masters, we have PhD, we have research applicants, and what else? We have the research and development program, which was opened last year, and then we have the Korean language training professional. All of this for graduates, and the application cycle is February every year, and that is the year you're meant to go to Korea. So for the graduate degrees, it's next month, like it's this next month. So moving on, yes, it is a fully funded scholarship. You don't have to pay for application, and also if you get the scholarship, the government will be the one to pay for your airfare. You'll be getting stipend and all of that. However, if you need to spend money to get to take care of any document in your country, of course you have to be the one to fund those bills. The government no go follow you in that one. The period: 1 year Korean language program and then your degree program. So for undergraduate degrees, we have 1 year Korean language program. If you have to pick level 5 or level 6, you can skip the language year. But if not, you have to take 1 year compulsory language training, and then I think 2 years for associate degree, and 4 or 5 years for bachelors. So calculating all of that, it's more like 5 or 6 years for bachelors and 3 years for associates. I'm not so sure. And then for masters, for graduates, we have 1 year language training plus 2 year master's degree, 1 year language training plus 3 years PhD, and for research is like 6 to 1 year. So going forward, In total, that's like 3 years for masters and 4 years for PhD, and then for research, 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years, depending on how long it's going to take. And for the application track, I hope I'm not talking too fast, anyways, because I just want to quickly run through the application guidelines so that we can focus on how to get your application documents just in time for the scholarship. So for the application tracks, we have two major application tracks, the embassy track and the university track. Now, there is no online application for this scholarship. However, some schools, or not a lot of schools anyway, do ask that their applicants send the soft copies of your documents via mail before sending the hard copy over to them. So except your university request for that process, you do not have to send the soft copy of your documents. So going back to the tracks, the embassy track, for the embassy track, you have to apply via the Korean embassy in your country or any other institution in charge of it. And this process differs by country. For Nigerians, the Korean Cultural Center Nigeria, located at Abuja, is the one in charge of the application process for embassy track applicants. And for university track, you have to apply directly to that university, meaning you pack all your documents after arranging and sorting them out, pack them, take it to courier service like DHL and all, and then send it directly to that university. And for embassy track applicants outside Abuja, you can send it via courier service like DHL to Abuja. But if you stay within Abuja, you can actually go there, not jig job, in person. My Korean, please don't come out. You can actually go there in person to, submit. I'm going to be making a separate video on both tracks, and I'm going to be giving you what to watch out for while selecting the tracks. So as not to make this video too long, that is just what I'll be providing for now with regards to the track. Embassy, university. Embassy, you apply via the Korean embassy in your country or the respective institution. For university, you apply via the university track. And for some countries, they have more than one process. So basically, make sure you make research on the application process via embassy track in your country and via the respective universities you'll be applying to. So for university track, you have to submit one set of documents, and for embassy track you have to submit 4 sets, 1 original and 3 photocopies. I'm going to be giving more explanation when I'm talking about the different tracks. Moving on, we have quota. Basically, the quota is the number of persons that will be coming to Korea from that country according to the track. So for example, Nigerians were embassy track. We had 6 slots last year. Fortunately, it was increased from 4 to 6. So, meaning 6 persons came to Korea from Nigeria via embassy track, and we have 10 slots for university track. So you have to be careful because some countries have a certain slot via embassy track but do not have via university track. So you have to make sure that your country has a slot for both embassy, university, or whatever track it is that you want to take. And university track, we have 2 subdivisions, the general and the regional, and for each subdivisions or sub slots, they have like quotas for them as well. For Nigerians, we have 5 regional, 5 general. So if you're picking, you actually have to pick consider this why picking your slots. And for R&D track, the quota for that is actually shared among the universities, and there are only 12 participating universities. So you would want to check the universities, the quotas, and decide based on that. So you can apply to any of the participating university. You can apply to any course so far it is a course offered by the university or by the specific university you want to apply to. Because I get this question a lot, people asking me, is it for only Korean studies or something? No, you can apply virtually to any field of your choice. So far there is a university providing classes for such fields. And we have type A and type B university. Basically, type A universities are universities in Seoul, and type B universities are universities outside Seoul. Now, while picking your schools, like filling your application, while picking your school, you have to pick at least one type B university. So you can pick two type A's, one type B, two type B, one type A, or three type B's, but you cannot pick three type A's. So you have to make sure you take note of this while selecting your universities. And this is limited to embassy track. For university track, you can only apply to one university, but for embassy track you have the opportunity to pick three universities, and at least one out of this university must offer you an admission. Two out of my three chosen universities actually gave me admission. One rejected me, so you go on, but that's fine. Anyang and Kim Young picked me, and Sungyeogo shanked me. Next, let's quickly look at the eligibility. Nationality: you must hold citizenship of NIED designated countries, and it's okay if you and your parents, like if your parents have different nationalities or citizenships, but then it has to be like from one of the countries in the guideline. And you must not be half Korean or full Korean, meaning none of your parents should hold a Korean citizenship. Move to degree requirement. So if you're applying for a bachelor's degree, you have to apply with your high school certificate or associate degree. And if you're applying for associate degree, you have to apply with high school certificate. If you're applying for master's, you're expected to hold a bachelor's degree or a level of education equivalent to that. Now, I did not apply with bachelor's degree. I actually applied with a higher national diploma, HND. So I'm going to be making a separate video on that to guide people who would want to apply with a HND certificate as well. You want to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel anyways. So then for doctoral program, you have to apply with a master's degree or a level of education higher, and that for the rest as well. So I'm just going to skip because I think that is quite self-explainable. So going to the grades now, all applicants are expected to maintain a certain cumulative grade at the end of the degree program. So it is not like you have to maintain this grade every semester. At the end of the program, you have to have this CGPA, and the list is on a on a 4.0 we have 2.64. On a 4.3 grading level we have 2.80. 4.5 we have 2.91, and 5.0 we have 3.23. So this means that if you're grading this thing, I forgot what to use, like the name, but then you understand the 4.0 ish. So if it is on a 4.0, the list you must have is 2.64, and each grade range has a certain percent attached to it. So you want to, like, you should look at the guidelines to see that. And should, in case you do, like, you don't meet up with the list cutoff for the grade, you can provide a document stating that you're ranked within the top 20% in your class. That would actually make do. So going forward, we have the age. For undergraduate, you must be under 25. For graduates, under 40. Academic professors in one of the official development assistant recipients who are under 25 years of age can also apply. I'm going to skip the health part, I'm going to skip the others, and I'm going to move down. So I'm going to skip the rest and just move down to application preparation, like the documents to submit, which is the whole highlight of this video, I believe. You see, the difference between a strong application and a not so strong application is not in the required documents. Now, everyone will submit the required document. It's a required document, so everyone will submit that. The difference is actually in the additional value and additional experiences that one applicant has to offer and the other does not, and the additional optional documents proving those values, experiences that one applicant submits and the other didn't submit or something. The document is a very important aspect of your GKS application. It can either make or mar your application. With that, let's look at the documents to submit and how you can go about submitting the documents. So I'm just going to be giving you what I did. I'm going to be explaining what I did during my time while I was applying. Hopefully that will help you get a hang of the documents to submit and how to go about getting those documents. First of all, what I would tell you to do is to get a notebook. This is my notebook here. You see how rough it is? This book, oh God, oh suffer. Also Shobogan self, because I know this book was just my GKS Bible, my GKS reference. It went with me everywhere I went to last year. The rain, the sun, like it was always with me. Everything I did was in this book. The criteria I used in selecting my universities, every single thing I did was just in this book. So let's talk about how getting a book can help you. If you're not so, I'm a like physical book person. Even right here, the whole video thingy, I have it all documented in a book. I'm just this person that prefers writing out what I want to do and documenting them in paper than digital. But if you're a person who likes digital stuff, no problem, quite all right. Just get a place where you can easily document your progress. So what are you going to do with the book? Open a page and headline it application document preparation. In my book here, I have number 1, write out the application document related to you, both required and optional. That way, you know what to focus on. Yes, when you write out the application document, you know what to focus on. Not all application documents are related to you anyways. For example, like the letter of invitation is just for research applicants, so you don't need that. Right here in my book, I have all the documents I need, and I number them. That way, okay, I have just 12 documents to get. Okay, I have just 10. Okay, I have just 9. That way, like I said, you are able to focus. The second one is create a scale of priority. Now, I don't know if that is the correct word to use, but basically what I'm trying to say is after writing out your documents, you now segment them. So I did important / required and urgent. So under this, I have stuff like my certificate, my transcript, letter of recommendation, proof of citizenship, and my passport, international passport. Now, these are documents that are required, that are important to my application, and they would take time to get. So I classify them as urgent. You sabi Nigerian school now, and you sabi Nigeria like society, it can be a little bit hard to get some document. So those documents are urgent. I made sure to get at least most of them, like before the application like actually opened. My documents were like 80% complete. My application was like 80% complete. So for important and urgent documents that are required, they are important and you need to get them. So the second one here that I have is important and required but not urgent. Now, under here, I have documents like your personal statements and your study plan. Of course, they are required, they are important, but these are documents that you can actually get during the application cycle. You can write your essays. If you are yet to write your essay now, you can actually write it during the application cycle. So it is not something that is so urgent. Bye. My Yoruba is back again. It is not something that you actually have to get. So the next thing I have is optional but urgent. Now, under this, I have letter of proficiency in English language. This is something I got in place of my in place of IELTS or English proficiency certificate. So I have optional but not urgent, and these are research papers, Korean related, and other documents. My research paper, I said research paper. Basically, it's about my thesis. So I have it already and I just want to like shorten it. And I was like, okay, I can do that during the application cycle. So it is not something that I have to like get immediately. And according to the like grading year, it is optional. So let me go back to what I said earlier so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. Categorize your documents. Important and urgent. Important but not urgent. Optional and urgent. Optional but not urgent. That way, you know what to work on. Okay, right now, I have to work on just my transcript, my certificate, my this, my that. You know what you have to work on like this. Okay, my essays can actually come during the application cycle. Of course, you can start making research on how to write that. But it's not something that is like urgent now. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So that way, you know what to work on. Okay, I have to focus on getting this 4 documents right now. During my application process, I can focus on getting this other 4 documents. that way, why am I saying that way since money me? You should know how to get your document like that, like that. So moving to the next, the third one is, honestly, I don't know how to explain this, but this is also a form of categorizing. So here I wrote one to be downloaded. That is the document I'll actually need to get when the application opens. And we are from one, from two, that is, from one is the application form, from two is the personal statements, from three is the study plan, from five is the letter of recommendation, from 7 8. So I, you know, want to know the documents I would need to download. And after that, I have documents I need to work on getting. Now these are documents like my certificate, my transcripts, um proof of proficiency in English, research, and other certificates. Now, these are certificates I got from Coursera, from Korean related activities. Basically, they're just like my volunteer certificates and courses, extra courses I took. So, my Coursera certificate, like I've been taking classes on Coursera before the application cycle opened. So I had like tons of certificates from Coursera. I have certificates being an honorary reporter, K influencer. I did a lot of activities just because of cases. I also cases here just because of GKS. Don't worry, I'm going to create another series just for gisting and chit chatting, talking about my GKS experience, and then you understand what I went through. I don't want to say anything about that now. Moving forward, so number one is document to be downloaded, documents I need to work on getting, document to be authenticated and legalized. Now, for this one, we have documents like your transcript, your certificate, your proof of citizenship. This is your birth certificate. You can actually use your passport, but then you need a document proving parent-child relationship, and your birth certificate is like the best document in this case. But in case you don't have your birth certificate, you can get like an affidavit or something. So you have to authenticate and legalize it birth certificate. If you are using, excuse me, what the heck? Sorry, if you are using your NIN for Nigerians now, if you are using your NIN for your parents' proof of citizenship, you don't have to legalize or authenticate. You can just submit a photocopy. That is actually accepted. Now, the document to be now, what am I saying now? Anyways, please know that this category is different from the former one I said. But the document to be authenticated needs to be under urgent, like important and urgent. It takes a lot of time, most times or at times, to get a document authenticated and legalized. So you want to make sure documents that you need to authenticate and legalize are on the, like, at the top scale of priority. Like number one, I need to get this document, start the authentication and legalizing process, so that by the time the application is over, I'm able to submit my document just in time. Talking about authentication and legalization, I'm going to be explaining that in a separate video. I don't want this video to be too long. Anyways, so basically, these are documents that you need to submit in its original form. However, you can't submit the original, so you are submitting a photocopy to stand in place of the original. And this photocopy needs to be authenticated at the Federal Ministry of Education for educational documents and Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs for both educational and non-educational documents, like your birth certificate in this sense, and then legalized at the Korean embassy in your country. For Nigerians, we have two Korean embassies, one in Lagos, one at Abuja. But I advise that you go to the one in Lagos. Explanation in the next video. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe, click on the notification bell, like. Next one will be getting your recommendation letter. Now, recommendation letter, if you can remember, is part of the important and urgent, because the reason I classified that under important and urgent was because I knew that during the application cycle, I will not be in Lagos where my school is. So I made sure to get my I actually got a recommendation letter from 3 people. At the end, they only requested for 1. Anyways, that is by the side. So I would say that since this is an academic scholarship, you should get your recommendation letter from someone in your school, like your project supervisor, your HOD. I got one from my HOD, who is also my project supervisor, and I got one from one of my lecturers, who is also the coordinator of my school radio where I volunteered. Your recommendation letter, as stated in the guidelines, you don't actually need to see it. You should not see it, basically. And for embassy track, we need to submit one set of originals and three sets of photocopies, meaning your recommendation letters, you need four recommendation letters in addition to the recommendation form that you'll be downloading on the application, on the website, together with your application documents. So basically, what you will ask the person to do is to either print one, photocopy it, and then like photocopy it into three places and sign on all four, or you ask the person to print out four. So what I did, okay, let me just tell you a little secret. Please don't tell anybody. I took care of my recommendation letter myself. My lecturer who recommended me was very busy. I told you I got three. So one of the three, she was very busy, so she could not, write and everything. So I wrote everything myself, and please don't tell anybody. I wrote everything myself. I took care of everything. So yeah, you should supervise your recommendation letter. Let's be factual with ourselves, because you know yourself better than anybody. Tell the person what you want. If you don't want to supervise it, or I'm not saying you should write it yourself, but for my case, it was needed. If I needed to apply for Global Career Scholarship last year, I needed to supervise my recommendation letter myself. My lecturers knew nothing about GKS. I knew what I wanted to write. I know what I want to be in my recommendation letter, so I had to supervise it. Of course, probably your lecturers know about GKS and everything, or they have a template, quite alright. But I knew that I needed to take care of what I want to be in my recommendation letter myself. So I took care of it. All she needed to do was just to sign, basically. So I printed one in colored, and then I photocopied three in black and white. So she signed on all four. So in this recommendation letter, I have one recommendation form which you have to fill, and then the four recommendation letters all sealed. You can use this envelope, but if you think this one is too big, I got three. You can use the small one, or you can use the white one. Anyone, just make sure it's neat, kind of. So for both how am I going to say it? One original, three photocopies, all in one envelope, and I put the envelope in the set of documents containing my original documents. So I'm going to talk about arranging your documents when I am talking about the tracks. So I'm going to explain what I meant better in that one. So after getting your recommendation letter, you are meant to sign across. So what happened was that this one was signed on the flap like this. It was not across, so I had to request for another envelope. I asked someone to help me get it, and basically it was just the signing. So sign across like this, and it was signed across, sent to me. It was not sealed. I sealed my recommendation letters when I was packing my documents to be sent to KCCN. I don't want to take any risk of me sealing it and the seal coming off. So I was like, you know what, just cover it and sign. When it's time for me to send, I'm going to seal it myself and, send it together. So basically, let me see. What do I have here? Jamshimanyo. Oh, this is the guideline. Okay. Let me read what we have in the recommendation form. Now, it is stated that in this place, of course, your recommender can either use this recommendation form or write a separate letter. So I opted for writing a separate letter. So how long have you known the applicant? What are the applicant's capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses? And comment on the applicant's performance record, blah, 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 blah. So I wrote there that it was written there that she is writing in support of my application for the Global Career Scholarship. She talked about my soft skills, and I'm an outstanding young woman, a go-getter, other stuff. And then she talked about, because now I don't know what to use, the number of years she has known me, and then in what relationship. She is a coordinator of the school radio where I volunteered. Now, I volunteered as an on-air personality, and I anchored a Korean theme radio program. And that is like the first Korean theme radio program in Nigeria, because as at then we don't have radio programs on Korean culture. Now, I'm not talking about asking them to play K-pop songs or something. No, like we dedicated a whole segment. You should know how important segment is to radio programs, like to radio stations. We dedicated a whole segment to my Korean program. Myself and my co-anchor, who is also my friend at school. So both of us, we co-anchored it. We dedicated a whole segment talking about K-pop, K-drama, and all of that. I'm a pace setter, all because of GKS, because I was like, whatever it is I'm doing, I have to put it in my GKS. So I knew that I wanted to do that so that I can just add it as part of what I did, as part of my extra experiences and all of that. So she talked about my radio program, she talked about my study, and she talked about my love for Korean culture. I came for Korean studies, Korean language education, so this was needed anyways. So yeah, she talked about my final year thesis. See, I need to create a separate video gisting you guys about what I did, all because of GKS. When I create the video, you understand what people went through applying for GKS, how you can actually create such strong profile for yourself. My final year thesis was based on evaluating the role of the media, because I studied mass communication. However, I changed my course. I'm still going to be making another video for those who want to change courses from one to another. So I studied mass communication, I changed to Korean language education. So for my final year thesis, I evaluated the role of the media in promoting the awareness of Korean pop culture amongst youth in Nigeria. This is a time whereby it is not so common. It is not common for you to see people anchoring a radio program, doing thesis on Korean culture. Like, I was very intentional with my GKS application. On this side, I prepared for GKS for how many years? 4 to 5 years. Since 2017, I got to know about GKS 2017. When I went back for HND in 2018, I went with the mentality that I'm applying for GKS. So every single thing I did was related to GKS. I created a Korean club in my school. We couldn't push forward because of final year activities and everything. It was in my personal statement. The Korean radio I anchored was in my personal statement. My thesis, everything was in my personal statement. Don't worry, we'll get to that, Sha. This is just the tip of the iceberg on what I have to give to you, just to help you with your GKS preparation. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're doing yourself a big what? A big what? A big arm, whatever. So yeah, we talked about my academic activities, my other activities as an on-air personality at the school radio, where I anchored the radio program targeted at promoting Korean culture among students. Now, this is just my own. You can fix this to your own, basically. And then she talked about how she sees me as an ideal candidate for the scholarship, talked about how my competence will help to aid me in my part of spreading the awareness of Korean culture in Nigeria. I came for Korean studies, Korean language education. So this is related to what I came to study. And that is that. So you have to make sure that your skills, what you've done, every single thing is here. This is a competitive scholarship. You're not overselling yourself. You are doing the barest minimum for yourself. Why am I angry like this? Let me move to the other one. Okay, here, what did I have here? You see that one, I did not talk about my weakness, but this one, I wrote this one myself. I talked about my weakness being taking a little long in meeting deadlines. However, she gets a job done and she does it well. If you want them to include both your weakness and your strong points, you can actually do it this way. Like, my weakness was meeting meeting up with deadlines, but then the strength was that I get the job done and I do it well. So try to make a strength, take out strength from the weakness. Basically, she talked about my good grades and all of that. So that is that for the recommendation letter. I hope this will help you with writing your recommendation letter. Please note that some universities, however, request for 2 recommendation letter. If you are applying via embassy track to that university, please make sure that you are putting two recommendation letters from two different people in the file containing documents going to that university. So let me quickly talk about arranging documents here so that you can understand what I'm saying. I prepared 4 files: original, photocopy 1, photocopy 2, photocopy 3. So let us say for number 1 now, you are picking a university that requires two recommendation letters. Instead of photocopy 1, just write the name of that university on it and put two recommendation letters, while the other universities carry one. Because whatever rule applies to university track applicant, I should say track applicants, also apply to embassy track applicants. Some people will be like, oh, that is university, I'm going by embassy track, and they will not put it. And during the third round, because obviously you will still meet your selected universities, the third round, some get eliminated, not eliminated, like the application gets I don't know how to say it, but then they just fail at that round because the required documents are not there. So you don't want to do that to yourself. You get the vibes. So that for the recommendation letter. If there's anything I did not explain, you can ask. Please, I forgot to tell you, your passport. Passport is not needed at the first round, but you need your passport when you want to legalize your document. So meaning you need your passport for the application, basically. So yeah, try to get your passport if you are yet to get it, because you need it at the point of legalizing. So let's do a quick recap of what we've talked about with regards getting your document. The first one is to get yourself a book. If you're not so conversant with book, an app, or whatever it is, you can actually use to track your progress and also reference while making your decisions with regards the application process. The second one is to create a scale of priority or a scale of preference or whatever, I don't know what to call it. So this is categorizing your document on a scale of importance, urgency, optional, urgency, and also categorize your document according to documents to be downloaded and documents you need to get yourself. And also I talked about authentication and legalization. I'll be making a separate full video on this anyways. Then I talked about the recommendation letter, and also if you can get optional documents, please do yourself a great favor of getting them. I know the time is quite short, but you can try to apply for courses on Coursera, either related to the Korean language or to your major. Apply via financial aid, and then it will take 2 weeks to be approved. However, you would be able to get a certificate for free if you apply via financial aid. So that is that on this video. I will be making other videos, so please do well to like, comment if you have any questions, share, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. 봐주셔서 감사합니다. 안녕히 계세요. 계세요 or 가세요? Who is staying? Who is going?